Okay, targeting ads and posts on social platforms. The difference between targeting brand posts and targeting advertising, well, there's two major ones that we want to look at here. First, there's the practical difference between them. If you are talking about a brand post as opposed to advertising, formal advertising online, brand posts are owned media, so it's the content that we create, that we put out there. It's the stuff that we own, has no advertising costs associated to it. The technological difference is that since advertisers are paying for the media space that they are using, they usually get targeting options first. So you're paying for that privilege to be able to get that information and to be able to have more prominent places within a news feed or a profile page to be able to reach those that you're trying to reach out to, and paying for that privilege. Identifying audiences for personal branding efforts. When we're talking about personal branding, it's a little different than when we're talking about branding on behalf of a company or an organization. And one of the best places to do that in terms of personal networking and personal branding is LinkedIn. LinkedIn profile creation can be more effective if the user understands that the audience he wishes to reach within the profile, to reach with his profile, I should say. You need to know the audience that you want to connect with. You need to have very much a certain intentionality when you're on the platform, not necessarily expecting people to come to you, but you need to go seek them out and find them. Having created a vibrant profile, the user is advised to join LinkedIn groups and to participate actively in them. Join the discussion. Ask questions. Give feedback. Be a very active participant. It's also important to connect with people on the platform. You are building your target audience, so be sure the people you connect with are relevant to your career plans. With LinkedIn being a more professional website and people taking the platform more seriously, it is a great place for you to be able to showcase and network and get to know people that can help you in your career aspirations and efforts. 6 lessons to learn as it comes to LinkedIn. First off, LinkedIn groups expressly forbids self-promotion. So the platform is not to be used in a way of just doing shameless plugs and trying to market all sorts of different people with all the things that you have to offer, but that the relationships that you develop and the conversations you have should be much more genuine and objective as opposed to just promoting yourself out there. Second, the LinkedIn Relationship tab. Couple features here. Provides information about how you are connected to another user. It allows you to see the messages you have exchanged, and it lets you make notes on the relationship and how you plan to further it. So you can kind of keep a journal of sorts on the people that you are connected to and be able to see how your relationship has evolved over time. Use the tag feature on the Relationship tab to assign tags to connections. This allows you to assign your connections to categories provided by LinkedIn, or you can create your own tags. So again, it helps you to be able to compartmentalize and help you to be able to see in a more categorical sense the ways that you are connected to various people. You cannot build a list that allows you to message all contacts in a category at the same time. Reason why is that LinkedIn works hard to create an environment where professionals can interact without opening themselves to spam. So it kind of goes back to that first idea that the platform is not to be used for targeting advertising per se, not to be used for shameless self-promotion, and to not be able to message everybody all at once is a good way to prevent that sort of activity. Consider using a tool to uncover profiles of relevant LinkedIn members. There's various tools that are out there. Some of those are available by paying into the LinkedIn service. So that may be something that you want to consider depending on how involved that you want to be in the LinkedIn landscape. Finally, develop communities on a variety of platforms and reach them with targeted content that will enhance your brand. So the more involved that you are, not just on LinkedIn, but on other platforms, the more visibility that you will be able to see. Now, again, it takes an investment of time and it takes work to make sure that the content that you are providing is appropriate for the particular platform. But the more places you make yourself available, the more chances you have to be seen. Ad targeting on selected platforms. Well, on Facebook, you have some options. One is privacy. Privacy allows you to make choices regarding your personal data, which is important to a lot of people. Ad choices provides options for preventing Facebook advertisers from collecting data about you. Goes back to the privacy idea. And then advertising is the page on which advertising campaigns are set up. More and more platforms are allowing certain types of advertising. Facebook, the major one at this point, though, that offers data based on targeting options to brand pages. Now, targeting available to brand posts. A couple options here. Hashtags. Hashtags are especially important in helping marketers to form communities of interest on visual platforms, and it does have the potential for a marketer to be a great source of big data to be used for targeting purposes. People don't necessarily have to like your page. They don't have to be directly connected with you. You can search a hashtag and see all the people that have used that hashtag and be able to read their stuff and get information about them. And emojis, believe it or not, can now be used in hashtags. This makes it possible for a brand to search for hashtags and use trending hashtags in brand posts, and even brands are developing their own hashtags, their own emojis, I should say. A couple of examples there from the textbook, where if you can download an emoji based on a favorite brand of yours, that can help to support brand awareness for that company. And by being able to search that particular emoji, a company can see how effective it is being in using another method there. Audience targeting on Facebook. Initial targeting options for brand pages were demographics such as gender, relationship status, educational status, age, location, and language. Many of the same different types of demographics that we tend to use in traditional media. At least best estimates that we were able to make in terms of setting up profiles for various stations based on their viewership or listenership. Later, Facebook introduced targeting by interests that are supplied by the brands as they develop a post. So because of the way that data is collected and aggregated, it can be a much more accurate representation of people and lifestyles as opposed to the estimations that are made by profiling that's done in traditional media and guessing that certain people that view certain types of content on television or listen to certain types of content on radio are most likely going to have these types of interests, these types of beliefs. We can get that information in a much more accurate way and a much more succinct way when it comes to the marketing that we do online. Best practices for targeting branded posts. First off, understand what platforms are used by the target audience and how they are used. So you want to not just find people where they're at, but understand their behaviors when they're on certain social media sites, and use that information to your advantage in the way that you post and share content to make it content that will be attractive to your target audience. Optimize content and posting schedules for each platform. Again, tailor that information in a way that it's going to be effective for the use of that particular platform. Post things when people are most likely going to be able to see them, especially where people have several connections on social media sites nowadays. It is very easy for your content to get lost out there. And if you don't try to reach people when they're online, when they're scrolling through, when they're in a mindset to have an interest in the content that you're providing, you could have the best content, but if it's not being seen, then you're missing out. Use the targeting capabilities of each platform. Know the different tools that are available and make them work to your advantage. Fourthly, monitor results on each platform and continue to improve content engagement and overall marketing effectiveness. So make sure that you are checking up on how you're doing. Read the results and determine if there's ways that you can change your message, change the way that you're presenting content to make things even more attractive to your audience. Because here's the thing of it. While having a large pool of potential customers is desirable, we all like to have a huge number of likes and follows. Messages are only useful if they reach the right people. And just being online, just having a social media site is not enough. You need to know how to use the tools, how to use them effectively, how to present the material in a way that's attractive to your audience when the audience is there, and make all of that work to your advantage.